you said it may be more complicated than it needs to be. This is the other side. A lot of ad specialists, it may actually be simpler than you think it needs to be. But because you're so caught up in your technical aspects, you make it more complicated, and therefore you actually miss the clear objectives. It could just be like, we need this many more leads. And then you're getting so caught tweaking cost per clicks or impression shares and talking about the other clients. Like, they don't care. The clients I work with, I specifically make sure that they're very simple clients that have high revenue and high upside opportunities. I don't want to be drilling down into these like crazy, weird 1%. That's not me. That's not my agency. I don't do that stuff anymore because that's not the direction that I personally or the company are moving in. Sometimes it's actually simpler it needs to be, but people think because of the way the mind works, they got to make it more complicated. So just be aware that you've got to tune into the client and their outcomes. It might be, like you said, you might require actually more complexity because what the client's needs are, but you actually might require more simplicity and get out of your own way and stop trying to be like the best ads guru and just deliver what they want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really easy.
Yeah, the overthinking can often lead to over optimizing, and you don't have many
Yes.
data points. You just playing around with different campaign settings and trying the newest hack, and you never give anything enough time to actually do well. A lot of doing this well at a high level is to be able to be patient and know what you're looking at, and know that it does need more time, and that's not always an easy thing. It's not always really obvious. That's why we get paid what we get paid, is to know the difference between
Yeah.
just finicking with all the stuff and just looking busy and going, you know what, this needs more time. I'm not going to touch it because I know better. My experience tells me better. The data is telling me there's not enough stability yet. That's why we're the experts. That's what people pay us to do it. And you gotta, I think that brings me to one of the bigger points I wanted to make before we wrap up, which is you've really got to know your benchmarks in your account, right? And this is if you're doing it yourself. This doesn't matter how much data volume you have going. You've got to know your benchmarks. There's so many pieces to that. Your KPIs, your typical performance deviations and standards, your seasonality. We've talked about this a million times, right? Your seasonality patterns, your competitive landscape. What sells the most, what doesn't, what are the normal underperformers, overperformers, your inventory levels. You've got to know your benchmarks for your account, for your business. Maybe it's complex and it's by brand, like I said before. Maybe it's by product type, whatever. But you got to understand, what does normal look like in your account? It's a big part of staying organized, is so that you don't freak out over little things, and so that you can go into it and sit down and open the account however you like to manage your account, whether it's in the interface, through an API, whatever, and go, what do I need to focus on today? Well, first off, what's the objective of the client? Are they scaling? Are they driving for efficiency because things are not profitable? What's the objective? Okay, great. I'm going to start with that. I'm not going to forget that. We don't want to get lost in the data and then all of a sudden go, oh, wait, why am I spending so much time looking for every little negative keyword when the client's telling me we need to scale right now? So why am I spending 2 hours looking at search terms, right? Set up automations, make it easy on yourself. Make sure you've got anomaly detection, etc. Cool. You want to have things automated, of course. You don't want things to go out of hand, but focus on that objective and know those benchmarks so you know what is normal, so that that's really going to drive what kind of optimizations you're going to make. And then obviously just stick to a schedule, guys. I know that it's easier said than done. Stick to a schedule, my goodness.
But it's simple. Just put it in your calendar and that's it. Just get on with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
People make this more complicated, I think, because a lot of people feel like they do need to prove themselves early on. Yeah. And like, I just wanted to add in with what you were saying about like people over-optimizing. People feel the pressure over and optimize because like, I need to be doing more work on the account. It's like, you don't. And that time that you feel like you should be working, do data analysis and communicate that data analysis to the client. Don't go, oh, I'm being paid, I should be doing this many hours, or whatever your rationalization is. If you see a pattern, go do the analysis and then communicate that analysis. And that's more than enough.
Yes.
Clients don't care about how much time they come putting in. They care about outcomes and actually how often they're being communicated with or how the communication style is. So just remember that.